tell, I just came from, alright, let me turn that, should shut that down. Alright, so I just came from Palm Sunday, obviously. Last night I went to Vespers and Confession, and a wonderful thing happened, bringing my one of my family members there. I heard a talk by somebody saying that there are 4 types of Christianity. There is Roman Catholic, Eastern Orthodoxies, Protestantism, and Pentecostalism. As if Pentecostals are a separate branch of Protestantism, then why aren't Lutherans and Baptists and there's 3, right? Everybody breaks it down to 3: Protestant, Catholic, or Orthodox. That's actually incorrect. There are 2. There's East and there's West. There's Eastern Christianity and there's Western Christianity. Now, Roman Catholicism is a bridge because it does contain, because it's so old, it does contain what we have, right? Although I'm not sure if it has a lot of the hesychastic practices in it, but there's more of a kinship with the Assyrian Church of the East amongst the Oriental Orthodox and the Eastern Orthodoxes, I don't know of many that even recognize the division. Again, my confessor for years at an OCA church was a Coptic priest. So, yeah. But, and of course, in extreme situations, like the Intifadas, the Orthodox and the Roman Catholics have taken the same Eucharist, taken from the same chalice. That was done because, one, they occupy the same churches, right? The churches are so ancient that they're divided up, like Holy Sepulchre, the Church of the Nativity, the extremely ancient holy sites, right? But also because it's not Latin Rite, and even the Latin Rite that's practiced is not the modern Latin Rite. So, the difference between a Uniate church and a Ukrainian Orthodox church is there is a picture of the Pope inside the church. That's the difference. And they may say the Filioque. Everything else is identical. But then there starts to be changes slipping in. But yeah, it's really just between East and West, right? And that's almost a bad way to differentiate it, because all of the West was Eastern Orthodox at one time, was the one Catholic Church, right? There was no... It's very weird. There's many ideas that people in the West consider heretical or even Gnostic or all these things that the Orthodox find completely normal and totally, fine. And one of the funniest things is saying heretic. We use the word heretic. They'll use the term heterodox. Heterodox means another way of worshiping. Heterodox is interchangeable with heretic, right? But they started calling people paradox because they think heretic sounds too harsh. But it's the same thing. You're calling somebody, you're calling them the same thing, right? So, and we should be honest, right? And again, it's not a slander against their character or how good of a person they are, or whether they love God, or whether they're going to heaven or not. Nothing like that. But the Westerner hears somebody get called, oh, that's heretical, and they clutch their pearls and go, oh dear. But at the same point, the Westerner will say, oh well, that's a false teaching. Okay, and I've actually I've talked to people who've said, well, there's a difference between false teachings and heresies. Huh? Like, meaning false teachings, like, on major things, like, what the Eucharist is, what baptism is, whether baptism should be performed with water or confetti and balloons. This was actually a debate. So the schism between East and West is so great that sometimes our words don't even mean the same thing. Sin means to miss the mark. It's an archery term, hamartia. In the West, they define it as transgression of the law. Heretic, they would consider heretic to be somebody who's like anathematized, or like a devil worshiper or something like that. Same thing with excommunication. I was in excommunication. I wasn't outside of the church. I didn't do anything wrong. I was unfit to take communion because I did not take communion for a period of time, and then I hadn't gone to confession. What did I do? I went to confession, and then the next day I took the Eucharist, and now I am back in communion. In the West, they've mixed up excommunication with anathematizing somebody. You can be excommunicated for good reasons, like actually for healthy reasons. We're excommunicating you not because you did anything wrong, actually because you did some noble things. But, and I can even explain circumstances in which that happens, but that does happen. So there's a lot of judgmentalness on the West. The West has this black and white thinking that the East just doesn't have. So when we speak about things, sometimes we can either sound very wishy-washy, or we can sound like we're attacking people personally, which is ludicrous. Or that we're damning people to hell, which, as in the previous video, clearly doesn't exist. Alright, peace to you.